Not audible, madam.
That is conducting by the IGNOU Regional Center Shillong, today the 30th of May 2022. The program schedule for today will be as follows. We will be honored to have Dr. Proforma Suchang, convener and coordinator of Kiangnangba Government College SC 1811 with the welcome address, which will be followed by the speech from our respected Sir Dr. Rahul Bhattacharjee, IGNOU Regional Director Shillong, who is also the president of the webinar. After the speech from the director, we will hear a special lecture from Dr. Lachar Liani, Assistant Regional Director of IGNOU Regional Center Shillong, and Dr. Manoj Rana, who is an Assistant Librarian of Northeastern Hill University. To conclude the program, Dr. N.S. Singh, Assistant Regional Director of IGNOU Regional Center Shillong, who is also an organizing secretary, will give the vote of thanks. So without further ado, let us start right away with today's webinar. I would like to call upon Dr. Proforma Suchang for the welcome address. Sir, please take your time.
Am I audible, madam? Am I audible? Hello, am I audible? Hello, am I audible, sir? Hello? Hello?
Yes, Dr. Suchiang, you are audible.
Hello, sir. Am I audible? Okay,
Yes,
sir.
yes, you are audible. Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, okay, sir. Yeah, thank you, madam, for giving me this time to deliver a welcome address. So, first of all, our respected regional director of Region Center Shillong, Dr. Rahul Bhattacharjee, respected principal of Kiangnama Common College Jowai, Dr. A.M. Bla, assistant regional director RC Shillong, Dr. N.S. Singh, a resource person, Dr. Lal Charliani and Dr. Manoj Rana, coordinators, program in charge, and academic counselors of different study centers, office staff of RC Shillong, and all other participants. A very good afternoon to you all, and it gives me great pleasure in welcoming all of you to this webinar. It is a glorious moment to extend my warm wishes on behalf of IGNOU Center Jowai and RC Shillong. I want to convey my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Lachar Liani, Assistant Regional Director Shillong, and Dr. Manoj Rana, Assistant Librarian Dehu Shillong, for they have kindly consented to be with us as resource person for this webinar on National Education Policy 2020 Scope and Future for Open and Distance Learning, which is jointly organized by IGNOU Regional Center Shillong and IGNOU Special Studies Center Kiangnangba Government College Jowai. To begin with, I would like to inform that IGNOU Special Studies Center in Kiangnangba Government College was started in the year 2000, and as of now, we have 335 registered learners of July 2021 sessions and 233 registered learners of January 2022 sessions. So we have 17 academic counselors. So this study center also form an important part of overall structure of the IGNOU. And since a study center is a special study center, we have limited academic functions or activities, such as to conduct the academic counseling sessions, to receive the assignment of learners, to conduct the term and examinations, and also in addition to this, we also organize or conduct an induction meeting for the newly admitted learners. And today, under the dynamic leadership of our regional directors, it is a matter of great pleasure that our study center and RC Shillong jointly organized this webinar on the topic which I have just mentioned. So the NPP 2020 is the first education policy of the 21st century, and it replaces the 34-year-old National Policy on Education 1986. This policy envisions a complete overhaul and re-energizing of the higher education system. It is built on the foundational pillars of access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability. And this policy is aligned to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and aims to transform India into a vibrant knowledge society and global knowledge superpower by making both school and college education more holistic, flexible, multidisciplinary, suited to 21st century's needs, and aim at bringing out the unique capabilities of each student. NEP 2020 makes a paradigm shift in conceptualizing education as a mean to equip students with skills suited for the 21st century and not just for making them employable. This policy also aims to address the many growing developmental imperatives of our country. The policy recommends institutional restructuring and revamping of all aspects of education structures, including its regulation and governance, to create a new system that is aligned, as I have said earlier, with the aspirational goals of 21st century education, including sustainability goal, while building upon India's tradition and value systems. So some of the principles of National Education Policy 2020 are flexibility, no hard separations between subject, curricular, and extracurricular activities, multidisciplinarity and holistic educations, emphasis on conceptual understanding, creativity and critical thinking, ethic and human and constitutional values, extensive use of technology in teaching and learning, full equity and inclusions, teachers and faculty as the heart of the learning process, rootedness and pride in India, substantial investment in a strong, vibrant public education system. Now, if we look at the part 2 of the NEP 2020 on higher education, the policy recommends that by 2040, all higher education institutions shall aim to become multidisciplinary institutions and shall aim to have larger student enrollment, preferably in the thousands. Since this process will take time, it proposes that all higher education institutions will firstly plan to become multidisciplinary by 2030 and then gradually increase student strength to the desired level. The aims will be to increase the cross enrollment ratio in higher education from 26.3% of 2018 to 50% of 2035. So when it comes to open distance learning and online program, this policy clearly states that institution will have the option to run open distance learning and online program provided they are accredited to do so. In order to enhance their offerings, improve access, increase cross enrollment ratio, and provide opportunities for lifelong learning, all ODL program and their component leading to any diploma or degree will be of standard and quality equivalent to the highest quality program run by higher education institutions on their campuses. Top institutions accredited for ODL will be encouraged and supported to develop high quality online courses. Such quality online courses will be suitably integrated into curricula of higher education institutions and blended mode will be preferred. This policy also states that ODL and online education provide a natural path to increase access to quality higher educations. Norms, standards, and guidelines for systematic development, regulation, and accreditations of ODL will be prepared, and the framework for quality of ODL that will be recommendatory for all higher education institutions will be developed. So there is no denying the fact that the NPP 2020 has opened a new horizon of open and distance learning and online educations. Of course, transformation and evolution is a continuous process. The structural and the systemic changes forwarded by the NEP 2020 empowers the traditional university and institution to offer or to run open distance learning and online program. In other words, the NEP 2020 has underlined the significance of open and distance learning by stating that institution will have the options to run or offer open distance learning and online program, provided they are specifically accredited to do so. The aim seems to be that it will help realize the goal of 50% gross enrollment ratio in higher educations and vocational educations by 2035 and comply to the Sustainable Development Goal. So the existing open and distance learning universities can come as a support in meeting the requirement of NPP 2020 through the establishment or structure of regional centers and study centers throughout the country. The regional centers and study centers are established by the university for the purpose of advising, counseling, training, or for rendering any other assistance required by the students. Generally, the building infrastructure and manpower of already established formal institutions are recognized as three centers. Therefore, the cost is reduced to a large extent. Unlike conventional universities and colleges, the ODL institution need not limit the number of seats for admitting the student in their courses. This again adds to reductions in cost. However, the ODL regulations of UGC is in place which lay down norms for the number of students that can be admitted in order to ensure quality. Still, the ODL have scope for accommodating a large number of students. One Open University also have flexible system which allowed them to offer a vast variety of courses ranging from arts, humanities, social sciences, languages, sciences, vocational and professional courses as well. As India moves towards becoming a knowledge economy and society, more and more young Indians are likely to aspire for higher educations. Therefore, open and distance learning, if expanded, can also play a significant role in successful implementation of NEP 2020 and in transforming the nations into a more vibrant, socially engaged, cooperative communities and a happier, cohesive, cultured, productive, innovative, progressive, and prosperous nations. Open and distance learning can also play a significant role in increasing the cross enrollment ratio in higher education to 50% by 2035. So, with this brief introductory speech, I once again take this opportunity to warmly welcome you all to this webinar, and I thank you all for your kind attentions, and I hope this webinar will be profitable and fruitful for every one of us present here. So thank you one and all, and now back to Madam Chairpersons.
Thank you, sir, for that warm welcome, introduction, and information about the NEP. Now, moving on, I would like to request our respected sir, our very own regional director, to give us his speech. Sir, please take your time.
Thank you. Um, good afternoon, all. My dear participant, today, Regional Center and IGNOU Study Center, Yangnamba College Jowai, Shillong, Meghalaya, and jointly organized a webinar on the topic NEP 2020, Scope and Future for Open and Distance Learning. This type of initiative was decided in our last coordination meeting with the regional center, which was held on 19th April 2020. In this regard, the first such webinar is organized jointly by the regional center Shillong and the IGNOU Study Center 1811, that is 12 number college. I am very much happy that all the members of this webinar put forward their hand, especially our two resource persons, Dr. Lalji, Assistant Regional Director, Arsi Shillong, and Dr. Manoj Rana, Assistant Librarian of University Shillong, Meghalaya. Two of our direct participants, Dr. N.S. Singh, Assistant Regional Director, IGNOU, RC, and Dr. Prasanna Suchian, Coordinator, IGNOU Study Center 1811, came forward and took the responsibility to conduct the webinar. I welcome the patron of webinar, Dr. Mrs. P.M. Lal, Principal, Kyangla Government College, Meghalaya. I feel proud that one of our regional center staff, Ms. Venda Jana, is very enthusiastically conducting the session. I particularly feel that conducting such activity will build the relationships between the regional center and the study center in the region of Meghalaya. We have therefore 21 study centers in Shillong, starting from Jowai, starting from Jamina Hills to other various countries everywhere, the study center is in Shillong Study Center. And our aim is to conduct this more and more mindfully with all our studies in the near future. Now, the NEP 0, scope and future for open and distance learning was chosen in view of the scenario of education for the last few years. As you know, the pandemic of the coronavirus, COVID-19, has been a catalyst in spreading out the shift from face-to-face to online method of education. There is a surge in the mindset of each and everyone, especially teachers, learners, guardians, and all stakeholders related to education. The technology-based education is nowadays very much prevalent in society. Both government organizations aim forward building such education and popularize it in society. Nowadays, there's a very popular word in the education domain is e-learning, which maybe is a synonym or is synonym of learning. Lots of hardware, software, and learning management systems has been developing day by day, so that learners do not stop by any cost. As we are associated with one of the largest open universities, Indira Gandhi University, or popularly known as IGNOU, which has been accredited by NEP 2021 A++. And it is the first higher education institution in the open and learning is in India. So IGNOU is now redefining the rules and function of their regional center, learn, learning support center to provide distance learners that will be ahead. So, if you see the some major changes in NEP 2020, as we see there is some major changes like 4-year degree courses to be introduced from now, important practical assignment, skill development, and we also got one entrance exam for all colleges, university, computer test, in all India exam conducted by NTA, ramp up distance learning, multiple education systems by 2030, one multi college in every district, each of them enroll 1,000 students. The aim is to clear 26.2% in 2018 versus 2035. We also see from our resources, research also coordinator of young this GA architecture. Um, Music, art, and literature we taught in all of this Department of Language, Literature, Music, Philosophy, Theology, Art, Dance, Theatre, Education, Mathematics, Statistics, Pure and Applied Science, etc. will be included in the education institution, higher education institutions, vocational skill to be taught. Every student will be taught a vocational skill in an art choice. No rigid separation in arts and science curriculum. As we know, there is an arts because no one of arts background can read the science, but we find that nowadays using a digital world, using NEP will be achieved, and we move this very easy. Internship programs will be funded from class 6, holistic of educational multi systems, then academic kinds of credit. There are so many academic kinds of credit has been created in and they are important. So with this part, I again thanks to our have all the participants who have joined our program, and we see our future that we keep a good relationship with our study centers, regional center, our headquarters, and I also give thanks to organizers that our regional center and center 181 for conducting this program. So I wish success of this program and also in near future we also conduct this program frequently. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir, for that wonderful speech. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the best part that we've all been waiting for. And that is, we're going to hear a special lecture from our resourceful person, that is Dr. Manoj Rana, who is an assistant librarian of Northeastern Hill University. Sir, please take your time.
So let me share the screen. Entire screen. Can the screen be seen?
Yes, sir. We can see you and we can hear your voice.
Okay. Now the pages come up right now.
Yes.
The whole page.
Yes.
I have the presentation be seen. No, I think it's loading. So, well, first of all, very good afternoon to everyone, the participant, especially our the regional director, Rahul, the coordinator from Jaintia College, Eastern Jaintia College, okay, and all the participants. Like, I hope the page is open, no? Hello?
Uh, Hello. Yes.
So, this is the first webinar which the regional center is organizing, and I am fortunate to deliver a speech in the first speech organized by the regional center. And as I was discussing with the regional director, like what is supposed to be delivered in the thing, so the program is basically an NEP, and so NEP has come up with lots and lots of new concept, new ideas, and from the thought of from the process of giving uh, literacy to the society. Now it has come to a quality education, and in this scenario, IGNOU is doing a very good job providing the distance learning. Okay, for the masses at the local level, at the regional level, at the national level, as well as the international level. And IGNOU is one of the biggest university of the world. And I personally has been attached with uh, the center with since 2001 as a counselor, and since 2021 I'm working as a assistant coordinator attached to IGNOU, the 1801 NIHU center. So now my topic will be on the resources. What are the resources? Like we always have a complaint that we don't have resources, but as we deal with as a person, as a professional, I'm dealing with lots and lots of information. What I found is that there's a huge amount of resources which are available on the net free of cost. But only thing is that we need to know how to process it, how to access it, how to retrieve it. So my first part will be about telling like what are the different resources available on the net, and how do we go through it. I'll be giving some examples. My presentation is basically a very longer one, but I will try to minimize it within that 25 minutes time period. So the first part I'll be talking about the different resources. Then next I'll show a live access from the Chrome, like how to go and access to the different resources. Now, when you talk of resources which are available free of cost on the net, these are called open educational resources. And it doesn't mean that it is free of cost, means somebody just wasting their time in creating resources. Basically, these resources are being created by organization and systems which are attached to certain funding organization, or a government, or a system, or an institute, or some corporate sector. So it is there. So through that sort of what you call process, the information are generated. Say, for example, suppose if the NEHU generates a PhD thesis. Okay, there is a scholarship got by the students, and moreover, it is the responsibility of the university to put the resources in the public domain. That way, the theses are being accessible to everyone through the uh, uh, different portals. I'll go into that. So, what are these resources? So these are basically resources which are meant for teaching and learning process, and it can be the syllabus, or it can be a lecture, it can be a quiz, it can be a lab. And these days we have, like IGNOU is having even the video, the audio video resources in this e-Gyan course portal. So these are basically the resources which are free of cost, but as such, they has been generated by certain organizations who are in the process of generating the information. Now, coming to this open access, see, one is free, the other one is open access. So again, this the things which are we see free of cost, or which we can access openly without paying anything on the net, these are called open access. And why open access? Because there's a community, like they think that, and also the funding organization have the thought that since it has been funded by the government or an organization, it is their responsibility to give free of cost. So that way this open access initiative has come up. But again, the thing over here is that whenever you take a resource from the open access, you're also uh, uh, you need to also to what you call cite it. It's not a just free of cost and you just copy and paste and say it is mine. It's not like that. These are the resources which are there in the net. You need to use it for reading purpose, or for generating knowledge, or generating information, or generating what you call papers. Say for instance, you're writing a paper, or you're writing some project. In that case, you're supposed to cite the resource, or the author, or the organization. Now, in this open resource, we have got, we call it e-resources. So it can be in the form of a journal, it can be in the form of a book, it can be in the form of a thesis. Like say for example, like university like NEHU, we produce lots and lots of journals, lots and lots of papers and thesis which comes into the journal. So we have a huge database of e-thesis at the local level, at the university level. Then also we also mirror it at the Shodh Ganga, which I'll be showing after there is some time. So now coming to the learning process, okay, like uh, because of the pandemic, we have seen that everything has gone online, and today we also have gone online. And what I feel is that online has to be, was supposed to be. What I mean to say is that it has to be there since the beginning, because the we can reach to a mass people. The other thing is that it is cheaper, and we can have programs or communication or conferences or seminars on in a place, sitting at your home or sitting at your office. And it is what you call, we can say, flexible in many ways. Okay, now coming to the teaching process these days, like especially in IGNOU and especially in distance learning. See, we have a classroom teaching. Okay, we have a classroom teaching. We normally have in IGNOU during Saturdays and Sundays. And the other thing which we have is the e-learning. Now the IGNOU has given all the material with the digital library, the e-Gyan course, open to everyone. It is not that the person only who is joining or doing a course from IGNOU can access to it, but a person, anybody can access to the resources from IGNOU e-Gyan course. And what I feel is that many faculties who are teaching uh, apart from IGNOU, also they are using the IGNOU material using. So over here, what is the thing which I want to say is that, like, we have a classroom teaching. Okay, we have e-learning. Now that has created a new sort of concept which is called a blended learning. See, when you talk about teaching learning, maybe 10 years or 20 years, where there was no internet, okay, when there was just an internet was there, and we are basically using the telephone connection for internet. That time the speed or the connectivity was very less, but now, because of so many the providers, like say for example Geo or BSNL or even the mobile internet or the data with the 4G. Now the 5G is going to be launched. So because of that, what happened, the connectivity is more faster, and we can have a blended sort of a learning in a proper way, or in a, and the trend is coming to into a blended sort of a learning only. So for that we need to go to and access the resources from the net. So many times we will find that the journals may be uh, it may be in part, or it may be a full text. When you talk of open access, means it is full text. But many times we have seen that when you are trying to a counselor or a student is trying to go to the net and try to access to any journals, they'll when they search the Google, we they have a problem of not getting the full text. Why? Because most of the things which comes on the first search, these are basically the paid one, okay, the advertised one. So in that case we need to pay it. But again, there's also a solution for that. What a person or a user can do it is that you can always write to the person concerned, to the author who has written the paper. He will definitely, if you write to him, he will definitely send you the material for your course. But you need to have a genuine cause. You need to tell him that what is the purpose of your work, or else what happened, most of the journals which are paid are very expensive. But for the undergraduate level, for the graduate level teaching and learning process, I hope we most of the materials we can access from the net without that much of difficulty. So scholarly database are not going to end. Like there are many databases which are there, like statistical database, like many organization, like census department, they have a database on census, okay, which is free of cost. As says, there are so many things which are there. Like I'm not going to the thing. Scholarly database may not be that important for the teaching learning process. This is more important for the research purpose. Now EBSCO open dissertation. Okay, now as we have the Shodh Ganga, I'll come to Shodh Ganga a little bit. Like EBSCO is a open dissertation, means like it has got the database of the master's thesis, the PhD thesis, and postdoc thesis free of cost. It's an open source. Okay, several thousands. Say for example, if somebody is planning to write a quality paper for their research or for some projects, or the counselor is trying to guide a project either for a graduate or a PG level. Like you can go to the AppSco open dissertation and you can see lots and lots of thousands of materials, thousands of theses which are there online, and we can access to it and get an idea of how to proceed with your this thing. So because we need to see when you work for a particular paper or a project or any research paper, we need to see what is the level which is happening. We have to see the benchmark, what is happening worldwide. Now, this is very important, which I wanted to show to all the participants over. Like it's called a DOAJ. Many might have heard it about it, and many may not. This thing maybe have not heard, or someone might have used this DOAJ. DOAJ stands for the Directory of Open Access Journal. Okay, now here, as I talk about the access initiative, so in this DOAJ. It is a directory of open access journal. Okay, open access means you say for example, suppose if you want to go to an open access, you have to go uh, journal by journal. Now here they have created a database, okay, where it will give a link. It is like a search engine. Say for example, you search Google. When you search Google and you search information on the net, similarly here in DOAJ, what you can do is you can search all the journals which are of open access, and it can be through subject, it can be through title, it can through anything. So you need to little bit do some research. You need to do go to the site and check it. Okay, it's not possible for me to tell everything over here. It's basically a directory of open access journals. So when you search here, according to the subject or according to the keyword which you want to search, it will get access to it, and that way you are access to a high quality peer reviewed journal. So here if you see, this is last month I was uh, I was checking this site. Maybe it was in the month of March, not last 2 months back. So that time you can imagine, see, 72,79,132 articles were there, and 17,521 journals, right? And this is from in 80 languages and 130 countries. So you can imagine the amount of resources which are free of cost and which can be accessed to the net. Now, next important resource is about Khan Academy. Okay, Khan Academy is a very interesting uh, portal. Uh, Here, what we get is that all the information, all the you can say chapters or concepts starting from class 1 to class 12. Even they have the audio video material on engineering entrance and medical entrance. Okay, now this is basically produced by a professor whose name is Sal Khan, and he was just writing a note for his niece, but it came into such a big collection that he said, "Why don't I launch it?" So that way, what happened? He has given this thing free of cost and he is launching the portal, and that way he is serving the humanity. Okay, and next important thing about this thing is that like you can suppose if you think that, okay, let me donate something, or you can also be a contributor. Suppose a person from Meghalaya or a person from Northeast who is having lots and lots of information on the local literature. Okay, you can always share with the Khan Academy and your name will be there as the contributor. Also this particular this thing after the all my links are over. Now this is the different what do you call the subject content which Khan Academy is having. Like you can see class 1, class 2, class 3, like that, algebra, trigonometry, right? So and the audio video material is so easy and so what do you call clearly explained that even I go through it sometimes, and then I try to see the basic mathematics which I have forgotten, okay, which I have read long time back. So I try to refresh it going to the Khan Academy portal, and this is free of cost, right? Now, Scopus, let's not discuss about Scopus. This might be important for. Now, coming to the open access initiative in India, okay, even the Indian government and Indian, the we can say the Ministry of Education has done lots and lots of activities, and see, we are having around 1,000 universities and many R&D labs, and you can imagine the amount of data, amount of the research material, amount of information which they are generating on a daily basis. Okay, now with this open access initiative, the very big open access initiative which the UGC have taken through the Ministry of Education is the uh, is Shodh Ganga. Okay, it is over here. Shodh Ganga. What is Shodh Ganga? Shodh Ganga, those who have done their PhD, they might be knowing it, but those who are planning to do their research, okay, those counselors or those students who are planning to do research, or those students and counselor who are dealing with projects at the PG level or the UG level, you can definitely go to Shoganga. Shoganga is basically a reservoir of all the thesis in the MPhil thesis or the PhD thesis or the postdoc thesis which are produced by the Indian universities and institutions. Right now, from this year or next year, we may not be finding MPhil thesis since it has been stopped, but the thesis which has been done earlier in the MPhil projects will be definitely over there, and those faculties or the counselors who has already done PhD, okay, they can always go through this Shodhgang, and they can also find out their thesis which has been sent, because till date a huge amount of thesis whatever has been uh, what do you call awarded degree from NEHU, we are sending it to the Implement Center for the uploading of the thesis. And since I'm looking after this thesis part in our university, so on a weekly basis we send it the data to Shodhganga. So this is one very big initiative which has been taken by the uh, and with going to the Shodhganga, we can also find out, we can also learn how a thesis or a project is done. See, for example, in a master's project, you need to do so many things which a person uh, never knows what has to be done, right? Okay, a person needs to learn. So if you go to this thing, you can get from page 1 to page end, including the acknowledgement, the preface, the chapter, the reference, everything is given there, chapter wise. So a person can learn, an amateur and a newcomer who is planning to do research can understand how research is done. And the other thing is that, like, a person who is already a faculty in a college or a institute, suppose you are planning to do some writing a paper or a project or a this, you can also get a lot of idea from what is the latest trend happening in particular subject. Uh, so next important is in NOS, as we have the IGNOU side. We have for the 10 plus 2 level, we have the IGNOU, the National Institute of Open Schools. They also give the resources free of cost on the net. So thank you very much, and let me go to the uh, page now here. So I hope this has been coming in the page now. So this is the live, what do you call the live page. I've gone to it, and you can see the number of theses. Okay, 361174. Synopsis is 8526. 45. The PDF. Okay, so these are the things which, and you can see a lot of charts over here. Now, say for example, if I want to search here, so what we need to do. Uh, Search and browse. Okay, so we just go to search and browse. You can type here, and let's write, say for example, econometrics. So if I search econometrics, so we get a huge amount of thesis which has been done on econometrics. Okay, so it is, see, 3301. Okay, so see, 3301. So much thesis has been done in the universities in India. Those who have submitted the thesis, there may be more than this also. Okay, right now it is showing 3301. There may be more than this. So like that, what happened? We can search it. Okay, and if you see here, these are the keywords. Okay, the in economics, in social sciences. So this term can be used in many broader subject, like in management or social science or economics. That way it shows the keyword over here. And if you click here, okay, economic analysis of labor market for scientists, so here we get like this. So this is the handle. Okay, handle is there. Then you can see the attached file, the acknowledgement, appendix, certificate, chapter 1, chapter 2. So that way we can either we can download the whole thing. Okay, but one more thing, you're not supposed to again just download it and rename it, because it is very easy to copy paste these days. So one might think that, okay, let me download this thing, okay, write a thesis, just put my name, but that again is against copyright. And moreover, these days, whenever you write a paper or a thesis, you have to go to a software testing mechanism. This is called plagiarism test. And right now, in Indian universities, we are having what do you call the Shodh Ganga, which we have. Okay, we use it for testing the plagiarism. Now, next is the Khan Academy. Okay, Khan Academy is here. Now, as I said earlier, this is the Khan Academy, and let me go to number 1 to number 9. It's just I'm showing an example. So, how does the Khan Academy comes? See, counting with small numbers. So, this is the way of, see, the way they have given. So,
2, 3.
so this is something
4. I
which
just click on this the box. All right. Hopefully we see more animals. Oh, here we go.
so these sort of things, see, the audio visual, the 3D the concept which we can't see something like 20 years back or 15 years back, that has been possible with the coming of the internet. So this is one example of, so there are many examples which when go to the Khan Academy and get it. Like if you have problem, like this is the for smaller classes, you can go for bigger classes also and try to find out. See, courses are there accordingly. Like say for example, if I go to class 11 physics, okay, So physics wall is there, like unit of measurement. Okay, these are. Let me go here. Physical world. Okay. Now, if you want to know somebody from the social sciences or commerce background want to know what is physics, you can go over here. Okay, play the video, and you can learn what is about physics, right? And coming with the NEP, okay, and coming with the NEP as the earlier the coordinator from uh, uh, Eastern College, Jayanti, so he has also talked about the what
Why
do you
is the
call.
universe organized the way that it is?
So right now, see, next in the NEP, when you go for graduation, there'll be no science or commerce or this thing arts. It will be basically a graduation degree. It may be a certificate in 1 year or diploma in 2 year or 3 years. You get a degree, or you can get a degree in research after 4 years. Okay, that way, it is met. So in this case, what happens is a person
This really does try to use
can
that
join different
large
subjects
ideas and takes them down
according to
a
her or his
complicated
wish. It is
phenomena of
right. So one
consciousness
can
and
join physics, one can join literature. Okay, but again, when the independence of joining the course is there, but again, one thing one should remember that whenever you choose courses, it should be something correlated. It's not that you join something which you can't understand it. Okay, there has to be some correlation. Okay, there has to be some, like philosophy, and philosophy can be correlated to many of the subjects, because philosophy and mathematics, where they are very, what you call, reciprocal. I mean, it is correlated subject, so one can take philosophy and mathematics, right? But talking about physics and talking about something different subjects, like say for example drama, physics, and taking something like mass communication, like that, so it may not that show the purpose. Okay, so one should always think about choosing the combination of subject while going for this sort of admission in the either in the IGNOU or as in the general courses. Okay, now this e-gyan course, I hope all the participants here are from IGNOU, so they might be knowing of IGNOU, this e-gyan course. So eGyan course is the digital library of IGNOU, and they have given all the courses, all the material, and videos, audio videos, free of cost. And this is not only for the IGNOU students or the faculty; it's also for everyone who want to do learning. This thing. Then we have the National Digital Library, is the one of the biggest libraries of India. Okay, here this is also free of cost, so one can access to a huge amount of resources while going to the um NDL. Okay, this is basically launched from IIT Kharagpur. Okay, and this is a project of the National Digital Library of India. Then we also have this Swayam portal. Okay, now here, see, so many institutes are there now. As uh, see, government is trying to say to come up with the MOOC. So this is Swayam is the MOOC, the open, what do you call, access course. Okay, open course, which we call the MOOCs, which is an initiative from the government of India side. Okay, so here one can also join a lot of courses free of cost. Okay, so things has become, see, what the government is trying to do is that they are trying to make uh, the population, the generation to be more uh, skilled, developed. Okay, develop with a lot of skills, and have also at the same time with to create some sort of a innovation or some sort of a what do you call, incubation sort of a process in the minds of the faculties and teachers, so that we can come up with some sort of a something which can generate uh, concepts and resources. Okay, right now, if you see any sort of products, any sort of things which we see in India, we are more into as a consumer. Okay, we are more into consumers. Whether we talk of electronics, whether we talk of vehicles, whether you talk of anything, something related with uh, technology, science, and development. Okay, these are we are more into consumers. We are not into manufacturing. Okay, so government policy with the NEP is that in order to make us more skilled, so that we can go from a consuming economy to a producing economy, so that we can do more of a export. Though we have a lot of export in the agricultural sector, but the government was that even the Indian population or the Indian academics or the Indian uh, community should come up with some sort of a products which can be marketable, which can be uh, this thing for the whole community. So I hope I have not taken too much of time. I think this is more than enough. So thank you very much for listening to me, and that is all which I wanted to say. So over to the coordinator.
Thank you, sir, for that wonderful lecture. I hope that everyone has learned a lot and they have been benefited from the information that you have given to us at this hour. So, moving on, let us continue listening to another special lecture by Dr. Larcha Liani, Assistant Regional Director of IGNOU Regional Center, Shillong. Ma'am, please take your time.
Okay, let me share. Screen sharing, screen sharing works. Screen sharing, screen share screen. Okay.
God, okay. I will let to see. Go start stopping.
Okay. So, can you hear me? Am I
Yes, ma'am.
audible? Okay.
Yes.
Actually, I'm supposed to share some of the slides. So, Sarah is helping me, and then let's see. So, see, today I'm going to talk about this, national education policy to 2020 with regards to IGNOU.
Open the screen.
Open the screen where?
Presentation.
Okay. Oh, this one. Yes. Okay, then now. Then, okay, stop sharing is there. Okay. Okay. Sharing. Okay. Slide. Okay, so I want to go to this. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, so National Education Policy 2020 Scope and Future for Open and Distance Learning with reference to IGNOU. All right. So, see, the Indira Gandhi National Open University was established by an Act of Parliament in 1985 to achieve the following objectives: democratizing higher education by taking it to the doorsteps of the learners, and providing access to high quality education to all those who seek it, irrespective of age, region, religion, and gender, offering need based academic programs by giving professional and vocational orientation to the courses, and promoting and developing distance education in India. So, the prominent features of IGNOU, let me just summarize it: national jurisdiction with international presence, flexible admission rules, individualized study flexible in terms of place, space, and duration of study, use of latest information and communication technologies, nationwide student support services network, cost-effective programs, resource sharing, collaboration, and networking with conventional universities, open universities, and other institutions, organizations. Socially and academically relevant programs based on students' needs analysis and convergence of open and conventional education systems. So, from what we have seen, we can all make out that okay, these are all envisaged in the NEP 2020. So, national jurisdiction with international presence refers to that, IGNOU is the only nationalized open university in India which has international presence. It has study centers uh, in the Nepal, Bangladesh, in other international countries. So flexible admission rules. See, when you get the admission in IGNOU, you don't need to have the background. Supposing if you're admitted into MA in English, so you don't need to have the BA English honors. So from any stream you can take admission. Likewise, other subjects, other programs also it's like that. So it's very flexible. So individualized study, flexible in terms of place, space, and duration of study. This refers to that the anybody who wherever they are, they can get into IGNOU, take admission there, and then the pace, they can study at their own pace and time, and duration of study also, it's very flexible. So anybody can fit in, those who are already in jobs, and those who cannot, attend the conventional educational institutions for some reasons, like personal or any other reasons. So it's very flexible in terms of pace, duration, and place. Then use of latest information and communication technologies. IGNOUs have been using a lot of information and communication technologies. As just my previous speaker also have mentioned that e-can course, all the study materials are there, so anybody can download it from wherever they are. So then emails are there to reach the regional center, the study centers, and the headquarters New Delhi, and then all these Genderson is there, then radio counseling also is there. So a lot of communication technologies have been employed for teaching learning purposes. So nationwide student support services network. This refers to the regional center, establishment of regional centers and study centers. Everywhere, all the states have regional center, and all the study centers are established in each and every districts in each state. Then cost-effective programs. Comparatively, the IGNOU's programs cost the fees very minimal, very less. So to say, it's rather cheap than comparing to the course fees with other conventional institutions, as well as the private universities and institutions. So resource sharing, collaboration, and networking with conventional universities, open universities, and other institutions, organizations. IGNOU is collaborating, with almost all the, organizations and institutions. Like we are collaborating with IIHM, hotel management, and then hospitals for nursing courses, and for this. Mm, almost all the colleges in each and every state. And socially and academically relevant program based on students' need analysis and convergence of open and national education system. So the programs which the IGNOU is offering is very wide, and then lots of need-based also are there. So we have lots of programs in the Institute of IITs, and then here in the agricultural sectors also we have. So a lot of students, learners also have benefited in the past. So coming to the next is some of the salient features. Let's come to the NEP. Some of the salient features of NEP. So many are there in the NEP 2020, but I'm going to pick only 7 points because of time constraint. So it won't be possible to highlight all those salient features, because as you have seen that from what we have already talked about, that a lot of recommendations, a lot of ambitious programs which are already practiced, which are already running in the institute, I mean in the IGNOU. So IGNOU have been doing all these, activities which have been envisaged in this NEP 2020. So only some of the features that I'm going to highlight it. The one of the most popular and important the features of NEP 2020 is increase the gross enrollment ratio in higher education, including vocational education, from 26.3% 2018 to 50% by 2035. So, in order to enroll students in higher education, IGNOU has done a lot of tremendous contribution. So, as IGNOU has been known as the People's University, so the mandate of the university is to reach the underprivileged such as popularization of the university programs to remote and rural areas, holding awareness campaigns at different places with collaboration with the heads of the community, the villages and the towns and the cities, all have been done. So at here in the IGNOU regional center level also, we have done a lot of work. So we have this MELT van, which is specially designed for this digital learning, mobile learning. So this by using this MELT van, so the staff of and the academics of the regional center used to go to remote places and far-flung places to popularize English program and uh, and done the on spot admission. So they used to visit villages and far-flung areas, and then enrolling villagers and the underprivileged students, and those who are belonging to SCSTs, and then other OBC students. So we used to distributed pamphlets to study centers and to the streets, and used to have talks with across the state. So, and there used to be some kind of popularization talks, program talks in colleges and institutions. So maybe because of all the efforts given to this, trying to increase the enrollment and bringing lots of students into this higher educational stream. The now at present the IGNOU has a cumulative enrollment of 34 lakh students, and here in regional center from 2016 we have more than 80,000 students enrolled from 2016, and then many of them from 2016 are still pursuing their course of studies, and as of now we have more than 80,000 on rolls. So the IGNOU students, 49% belonging to rural areas and 2% belonging to tribal communities. So that is what IGNOU has been doing to increase the enrollment into the higher education, and we have a number of plans, a number of schemes that we are going to introduce in the near future that trying to reach all these underprivileged and socially and economically disadvantaged people, and including the SCST and OBC. So let's hope that will keep increasing. So another one is universities and colleges will set up high quality support centers to encourage and support students from socioeconomically and disadvantaged background. So here also we have support center learner support centers across the country. We have 67 regional centers, and out of which 11 is recognized established with army, navy, and Assam rifles. We have, that means we have study centers, recognized study centers in army, navy, and Assam rifles, altogether 11 of them. So the total support centers, regions centers, we have 67 across the country. So we have 2,140 learner support centers across the country, and there are 31 schools at the headquarters, New Delhi, and 52,000 academic counselors across the country. And we have 750 teachers and academics. So we can have, altogether have offered altogether 281 academic programs. And recently there are 23 new ODL programs and 18 online programs, which were launched recently during the last 1 year. So these 18 online programs, there is a plan that, all these online programs will be done completely through online admission, online academic counseling classes, online assignments, online exams, online evaluation. All those things will be completely trying to make it online. So in the near future, within 2 or 3 years, all this will be materialized. As of now, it is like a blended. So they are doing everything online, but when it comes to exam, they have to give it programs have been launched, and then ODL programs also have been launched. And mm, here in the regional center, we have 373 academic counselors, and we have 27 study centers, then out of which 16 centers are.
Stop, link chala gaya.
Huh?
Link chala gaya. Link has been gone.
Is it?
50 minutes.
Okay, just wait for some time. Where was I? Where did it stop? Where did it stop?
Now, just now.
Just now. All right. Okay. Good. Okay, I'll start from this one.
This network issue.
Network
if you
issue.
not solve it,
Ah.
then it is difficult to contact this thing.
You're not using this Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, same Wi-Fi. Okay.
Same Wi-Fi is gone.
Okay. Let's wait for some time.
Which one?
Hope that it will come back. Ali. Okay. So sorry, we have connectivity problem. Now it has been restored. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, universities, number two, universities and colleges. I don't know when was it in. Okay, anyway, let me start from the beginning. We have 67 regional centers across the country, out of which 11 recognized established with Army, Navy, and some rifles. There are 2,140 learner support centers across the country, and there are 31 schools at the headquarters, New Delhi, and we have 52,000 academic counselors. All these are approved, and then they have been drawn from universities and colleges, and we have 750 teachers and academics, and then are 281 academic programs, and there are 23 new audit and 18 online programs launched in the last year. Academic counselors. All these are approved, and they are also drawn from different institutes, universities, and colleges. And there are 27, we have 27 study centers across the state, and we have exam centers, 16. Okay, thank you. Where was I? I do not know. Okay, I'll just repeat this financial support for students belonging to SC/ST, OBC, and other SEDGS. As I have already talked about it, once the students who are belonging to this, the SC/ST, OBC, and the SEDGS, and they have to apply for the National Porter Scholarship, so through which they are getting back all the money spent for the admission, etc. Okay, so I'll just rush up because we keep having the internet connectivity problem. So then technology in education, technology based, this what I have already talked about, because due to, IGNOU has have been using all the technology based, education platforms since its inception in 1985. But, recently due to the outbreak of the pandemic worldwide, so a lot of popularization stress is on this using of these platforms, and a lot of new things also have come up, and it's very good. It's for the students concerned, because all these are playing a lot of important roles in this, in their education. So this the Swayam Porter, there are a lot of digital programs in Swayam Porter. IGNOU was acted as national coordinator for Swayam in 2016 and national coordinator for Swayam Prabhat in 2017. Okay, in the there are a number of total number of 151 courses, and this year, the last year, 49 new courses have been added to support teaching learning activities. So we have also that 34 new online programs have been put on offer. And recently we have added 18 new programs, including MBA, MCA, BCA, and MARD. So these programs also are available in Swayam. Okay. So the next is that promotion of Indian languages. This promotion of Indian languages is, here envisaged in the NEP 2020 from the, pre-primary education to the higher education. So here in IGNOU, we have been, doing a lot of offering courses in the mother tongue of the people who are in the, the in the who I mean, we have been doing a lot of translation of study materials, and then so into regional languages. And student also can opt for either English or Hindi in some programs at the time of writing their term in examinations. And in the future, some now it's in the pipelines that some courses also are underway for translation of the study materials into the regional languages in their mother tongue. So, a lot of people can study in their own mother tongue. So regarding this, multiple entry and exit, so IGNOU have 23 programs at postgraduate level, out of which 22 postgraduate level have exit option after 1 year. So the plan is on for the offering this exit level at the undergraduate and other PG level programs. Then the next one is using of technologies. So as we have already discussed about the using of technologies, so IGNOU have been using a lot of technological platforms for offering teaching learning to the students, but I'm going to highlight only a few. So e-GAN course, very popular, and the previous speaker had already, spoken about it. So materials here in e-GAN course materials are put in e-content app, which can be downloaded by the learners. Then all the study materials are available in soft copy. Then so far, 17 lakhs users have already downloaded the study materials, and there are more than 33 lakhs users, and everything is there: course materials, videos, audios, and all those things, and all the academic resources are available in this portal. So, and then we have EMPC, Electronic Media Production Center. We are having the oldest channel, that is Gyandasan channel. This channel is extensively being used by the learners. So every day between 3 to 4, different schools organized teleconferencing lectures for the learners. So different, subjects, different courses used to be, mm, mm, discussed and then telecasted between 3 to 4 p.m. So EMPSC has also a link with nowadays YouTube channel, and the live streaming is broadcasting in the YouTube. So anyone can watch their live streaming through this YouTube. So interactive is after this other than that we have interactive radio counseling also. These academic programs can be assessed through radio at the frequency 105 105.6 megahertz. So online also you can 105.6 megahertz through DTH, and through the online, uh, through web. And the link, because I do not type here the link, gd.ignou.online.ac.in oblique Gyandhara. So anyone who is still using the radio, they can listen to this radio counseling while traveling also, while walking also, while during their leisure time also they can listen to this academic programs through this radio channel. So last but not the least, so norms, standards, and guidelines for systematic development, regulation, and accreditation of audio will be prepared, and a framework for quality of audio that will be recommendatory for all higher education institutions will be developed. Here, IGNOU, with all the works, um, even though I did not cover it all, but you can make it out as I have from that discussion itself, that IGNOU was accredited A plus by NAC. So IGNOU is the first open university which has A plus plus grade in its first cycle. So we are also very proud that IGNOU, the largest, the biggest university in the world, is accredited A plus plus by NAC. So I will stop here. So any discussion or anything you want to ask, and all that interaction session, we'll open it and hand it over to regional director. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear listeners and who are listening to this program, we apologize for the inconvenience due to the interruption of the network problem in between. I hope you understand our problem, so we do apologize from our side. Thank you, ma'am, once again for the wonderful lecture, and I hope that everyone has benefited from the lectures that we are listening today in the from the webinar. that is conducted by the IGNOU Regional Center Shillong. If any one of you have any queries, you can contact your coordinator or email us at rcshillong@ignou.ac.in. And now we have come to the end of our program. So I would like to call upon our Assistant Regional Director, Dr. N.S. Singh, to give the vote of thanks.
Respected Principal, Yangnangba Government College, coordinators, program in charge, and academic counselors of our IGNOU study centers. Our respected Regional Director, IGNOU Regional Center Shillong, Dr. Rahul Bhattacharjee, other officers and staff of IGNOU Regional Center Shillong, and most importantly, the resource persons of today's webinar on NEP 2020, Scope and Future for Open and Distance Learning, Dr. Lalchar Liani and Dr. Manoj Rana. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for today's webinar, the first of its kind and the first webinar from a series of webinars which RC Shillong is planning to organize in the coming weeks. I, on behalf of IGNOU Regional Center Shillong and our IGNOU Regional Center 1811, and on my own behalf, I wish to extend a hearty vote of thanks to Principal Gyangnangba Government College, Dr. E.M. Bla, our coordinators, academic counselors for participation in today's webinar. Sir, Madam, let me take this opportunity to thank all of you for your support, which has always been forthcoming. My sincere thanks and gratitude to both the resource persons, Dr. Lalchar Liani, Assistant Regional Director, IGNOU RC Shillong, and Dr. Manoj Rana, Assistant Librarian, Northern Hill University. Within a short notice, both the resource persons readily accepted our request for being the resource persons for today's webinar. Our Regional Director, Dr. Rahul Bhattacharjee, has always been at the forefront of every activity program of our university since he joined as Regional Director. With his initiative and overall responsibility, we could organize today's webinar. My sincere thanks to you, sir. All our staff, both academic and administrative staff, deserve special thanks. Thanks to all the participants of today's webinar for coming in such good numbers. Hope you are benefited by today's webinar. Thank you once again to all.